Okay, hi everyone. Good morning. It is currently 8:46 a.m. on February 6th. I woke up this morning and I was like, hey, a lot of people have been asking me to show them some recipes, and I know a lot of people either have kids or are in college or just are broke like me, and they can use some inexpensive, good recipes. So, I'm going to show you guys how to make some really super awesomely easy cookies that are absolutely delicious, and anybody you feed them to will love them. So, yeah, let's get started.
Alright, so here's your wide shot of everything you're going to need today. It looks like a lot, but trust me, it's really not. So first, obviously, you need a bowl. Today I'm just using a regular, normal, microwavable cereal bowl because I'm kind of shrunk this recipe down for anybody that's out there just living with them and their significant other or just a roommate. So I'm just going to use a quarter cup measuring cup and a half teaspoon measuring spoon, and those are the only measuring things you're going to need. Everything else is just by feel and by the look of it. Now you're also going to need some baking powder, and baking powder along with dried herbs and spices, they can go on sale and they can be for great prices, and if you can get your hands on them when they're like $1 each, like these ones I got from Fresh and Easy were, um, then they're great to have on hand. You can use them for a lot of stuff, and it can really spice up your cooking, girls. So today we're going to use cloves. Just before that, you saw nutmeg and cinnamon. So the three of them together are going to be really good, but in these cookies, they're really not going to be overpowering. So you're also going to need salt, but you're only going to need to use salt if you use unsalted butter. If you use salted butter, then don't add any additional salt, or you're going to get like crackers. You're also going to want some vanilla extract. This really nice vanilla extract I got at Ross. It was on sale, and you can make your own as well. And here you're going to need some brown sugar. You can use light or dark, doesn't matter, it's up to you. Also, you're going to need some flour. I keep all my flour since me and Bobby can't go through a whole lot of it all at once. I keep it in this pitcher with the lid on so you can seal out the bugs and the nasties, and it's easy to get a measuring cup in there. And now your butter, obviously, it has its little measurements on the side, and just a little bit of milk. And then you're going to need a quarter cup of butter, which is little less than half a stick, I believe. If half a stick. Yes. All right, so you're going to need the quarter cup of butter, which is the line right in the middle. Might as well make it easy for yourself. Just take that butter, cut it right in half, which I'm going to do once I find a knife. All right. So you're going to want your butter to be softened, but since, I personally never remember to let my butter sit out all day, what I'll do is I'll just unwrap it like this, put it right into the bowl. And since you just want it softened but not melted, we're going to pop it in the microwave, but just for about 15 seconds. And when you pull it out, it's not going to look like it's melted much at all, and it hasn't. It's just softened it enough to mix in the sugar and all the other stuff that you need to do. Waiting for the microwave to go off. There it is. Alright, so then you get your butter out of the microwave. Should have about this texture. It's pretty mushy, easy to sort of mix around and gush up and all that, so that's right where you want it. So once you get your butter in there, you get it softened a little bit, you're going to add. What's important is that you add equal parts butter and sugar. So you have a quarter cup of butter, you're going to need a quarter cup of sugar. And brown sugar, you definitely want to pack it down so that you get enough of it because it's not as sweet as white sugar because it's not as refined. So you get those two in there together and they mix 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 and they mix. Do, 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 do. Everybody like my intro song? Alright, so then once you get them creamed together, they'll look like this and have just about the texture of peanut butter. So from here, you want to add just a really light dash of your first two spices, which are cloves and nutmeg. Just probably an eighth of a teaspoon, not enough to even really measure. Just keep it light because they both are pretty strong when they're dried. And you don't really taste either in the cookies or the cinnamon, even though you can add much more of that, as much as you like. You don't taste it too much. It's not overwhelming. And you want to add just a dash of your vanilla, less than a half a teaspoon, I'd say, up to a half a teaspoon. Mix it all in. Again, really doesn't have to be specific. These cookies are so easy, Anybody can make them. They smell amazing. Okay, so at this point you would want to add a pinch of salt if you use unsalted butter. But again, if you use salted butter, and this is true for any baking, you don't want to add additional salt. So then you're just going to throw in about a quarter cup of flour to start. And make sure you get in a half a teaspoon of baking powder at this point so that it mixes in evenly um, with the flour and all that jazz. So yeah, you mix it up. Yeah, I made a little bit of a mess. I got pretty vicious with the stirring there. Fast forward this a little bit because it does take a while. So you just want to get it to the point where it's like sticking together about this. And at this point, it's kind of just take it wherever you want to take it. You can work in more flour. You can take it out on the board, which is what I'm going to do, work more flour into it. And you just don't want it to be sticky, and you want it to sort of hold together. It doesn't have to be too dry. You want it to be a nice soft dough, but it's very simple. You don't really have to stress too much about overworking the flour. Just get it to a nice consistency where you can sort of roll it out and cut it. So that's your dough right there. Now what I do is I'm going to add a little handful of chocolate chips. And these chocolate chips, I get them on sale. Once again, keep them in a Ziploc bag, and then I can just use a little bit at a time whenever Bobby and I want them. I'll throw a couple in hot chocolate or no more chocolate chips. Little cookies, pancakes, whatever it is, because, a small amount of people aren't going to go through a whole bag too quick. So you mix it on up and you clear off your counter, and you're just gonna start working your dough. And you just, like I said, want to work it until it's not sticky anymore. And obviously this does take a little bit of time, not more than probably 10-15 minutes, but for me it's relaxing. It's nice to get in the kitchen and work with your hands. And um, also, if you're pregnant or if you have kids, you don't want to feed them a lot of preservatives and a lot of nastiness and a lot of salt and sugar. And even something simple like this, making them cookies or making them for your boyfriend or girlfriend, it's like, so few things are homemade anymore, and they taste so homemade and they look so nice, and they're really, really super easy. So you get your dough about to this consistency where you stick your finger in the indent should stay. So now you just want to roll it out, flatten it out into a big square, or this is at least what I do. You can cut it into different shapes, however you might like it. I just cut them into cubes, honestly. I just cut them up into squares. They look kind of rustic and homemade. They taste really good either way. So, yeah, get those arranged onto your cookie sheet, and you want to give them about an inch in every direction to spread out if they do it all while they're cooking. So, just get those on there. Oh my gosh, my freaking hoodie is filthy. Nobody noticed that. Okay, so then take your cookies from this stage, pop them right in the oven at 350 degrees for just about 7 or 8 minutes. I actually set mine for a little too long. They weren't burnt, but they were a little crispier. These cookies will bake very soft if you bake them for just the right amount of time. So I'd start with about 5 or 6 minutes and work your way up from there. Keep checking on them.
So there you go, guys. I used my 15 minutes while mine were baking to do my hair, which I can show you guys how to do if anybody wants to know. I can share it with you guys someday. But anyways, there you go. There you go. There's your little cookies. Keep an eye on them when they're in the oven. Depending on a few certain things, they might take about 15 minutes, maybe a little less, but they're delicious. They're delicate. They're very delicately sweet. They are a little spicy. The chocolate in there is really nice. They're buttery. They're crunchy, crispy, soft. They're awesome. So there you go. Enjoy. I love you guys, and I will see you later. Bye.